Hello everyone, my name is Ross the Alcheminiaturist, and today I want to share with you how I made the literal cheapest zombie dragon / Terrorgheist that I possibly could. Spoilers, it cost me a total of $7.30. Before I get into the how, what, and why, we need a base. This base I printed out. If you type in the size of bases you're looking for, you can find a nice pack of them for free. Honestly, the model making community is amazing and supportive. Printing this base cost me about $2.80 due to the way I positioned it on the plate to be printed and the fact that it is 100 millimeters also made it so that it took a whopping 8 hours to print. But hey, I set it in the morning, went to my 8 to 5 job, and when I got home, boom, there it was, ready and waiting for me. I painted it black with AKs Black Primer as I knew no one is going to see nor care what shade of black it is. I then glued the rock down and, using my Uhu glue, slathered the base with the glue and then dipped it into my coffee grounds container. Once it came out, I hit the base with the water glue mixture to seal it and left it to dry. Now, onto the dragon. So if you check how much a zombie dragon / Terrorgheist model combo is, it's a whopping $85 Canadian. That's a lot. But what if I could make it cheaper? Well, that honestly was not what my initial inspiration was for this. What was that I was at the dollar store grabbing energy drinks and decided to go down the Halloween aisle. Well, in my house, we call it the home decor aisle, but that's beside the point. I was checking out the decorations and costumes, and I came to the skeleton animals. There were normal ones, regular skeletons, skeleton duck, spider, owl, and even a bat. And then I saw it. The skeleton dragon. I looked at it for a while and I swear that I could hear it say, "Buy me, take me home, please." And who am I to say no to such a lovely and sweet request? Well, while I was purchasing it, the thought hit me. This is nearly the same size as the G-Dub's official model, so why not make it into one? The tail itself was too long. Not that I cared, but also I didn't want to have this long-ass tail taking up too much room and then making it so I can't place this model in certain places around terrain. So I chopped off the center part of the tail and glued the two parts back together. I left the tail to dry overnight, and when I came back, I took my green stuff and made some haphazard areas of skin, as well as stuffing some green stuff into the joints and over top of all of the screws that I could find. No one wants to look at your model and go, "Why is there screws in it?" So, no one has to know, except you and me. And you as well, that other you that's watching this with you. I don't care how good or bad the green stuff looked, as it's supposed to look like rotting flesh on a skeleton, and that stuff does not look good, no matter how you want to look at it. When I was done, I left it to cure for 24 hours, which, like I said before, is really easy when I have to sleep at some point, and also go to work as well. Once the green stuff was dried, I took AKs White Primer and chucked it through my airbrush. And I'm gonna be 100,000 with you. This step took forever. There's a lot more area I had to cover than I thought there was. Holy heck. For you, this has only taken a little bit because of the magic of editing, but for me, it took a while. I waited just a few minutes between the priming step and the basing step because I really wanted to see this model painted up. When it was dry, however, I then took Rakarth flesh, put that in the airbrush, along with some water and flow improver, and painted all of the bones with it. I tried hard not to get the flesh painted with it, but it's an airbrush, so sometimes things just happen, you know? For the rotting flesh, I based it with Guilliman's flesh contrast paint. Guilliman? Girlyman? Gorilla Man? I've heard all three of these in reference to that dude, and he's like Benedict Cumberbatch. You can say something really close to his name, sometimes not even close, and we just know who you're talking about. Let me know in the comments if you call either of them anything else, and I'll try to guess who you were talking about. The next step was the wash. I grabbed a brand new brush from the same set as the dry brushes that I have, dipped it into my Agrax Earthshade, and again, I slathered this model. I like that word, slathered. I wanted the shade to really darken everything to a degree that I don't try to get to often when it comes to shading. Before the next step, I want you to take a look at this stroke. Watch. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff right there. I love how satisfying that looks to me. One stroke for all of that. Okay, anyways. Once the shade was dry, I took out my dry brush and dry brushed on Screaming Skull first, all over the bones to get a nice and good highlight all over. I will confess that I did look up the official G-Dubs painting guide for this one on their website to see how they did it and to get a good starting point. But in the end, I kind of just did what I felt would be the best, and it seems to quite go according to plan, so there's that, I guess. After the Screaming Skull dry brush, I went back with wraithbone and dry brushed over that, just a little less than already was dry brushed on the parts of the model, to highlight the highlight and give it just that much more of a boost of color pop. Still holding the dry brush because I forgot to change them over, I grabbed my Plaguebearer flesh contrast and slapped that on the flesh parts to give it that much more of a gross feeling to these pieces. Once the model was dried, I grabbed my Uhu glue again, and after putting some on the feet, I placed it on the base. And boom! The literal cheapest zombie dragon / Terrorgheist that I could have made at about $7.30 Canadian, which is like $5.30 American. If you've made it this far, let me know. I always try to respond to all of the comments that you leave. And if you're feeling generous, leave a like and subscribe. Neither costs you anything, and it shows me what videos and ideas that I have that you like. As always, keep your brushes wet and your models painted. Goodbye.